Here we are again with a back day. Slightly different than my usuals. Just throwing on my Versa grips. If you don't have them, highly suggest them. They're great when the grip starts to fail, so you can continue hitting your reps. I had inflamed my right forearm so badly that I started to get pressure on the radial nerve and caused my hand to go numb. So I started off with a variation of lat pull down. I've been kind of playing around with different angles and attachments to see how I can activate my lats a little bit better and mitigate any rear delt or bicep activation. And so I have an incline bench probably somewhere between 60, 75 degrees, which puts me at a pretty good angle. I use the rope attachment here. I've done a standard lat pull down bar. I've done D handles. And it kind of looks like from this angle my range of motion is really short, but it's not. I'm getting a huge squeeze in my mid to lower lat, especially in the first 10, 15 repetitions here. So I did 4 sets of 20 there, then moved over to barbell row. Here is 8 to 12 repetitions. I did 3 to 4 sets. It was my first or second set at 225. Looks like a fairly good pace. I swear when I was doing it looked like I was moving on that negative a lot slower than it looks here. But really just trying to add some density here, overload those lats. Again, big focus here for me is mid lat. That's why my elbow is a little closer to my core. You can always bring your elbows out higher and lean over a little bit more if you want to hit the upper back. I always suggest wearing a belt, especially on movements where you're bent at the hips. There's a lot of abdominal pressure here. Easy way to tweak your lower back. So I always try to throw one on most of my heavy movements or anything that I'm hinged at the hips. Utilize a belt to apply accurate and even abdominal pressure, which will help keep that lower back stable. Suggest always getting a belt that has the same thickness all the way around, not the ones that are thick in the back and thin in the front. In my opinion, you need that consistent thickness around to be able to provide the best stability for your core. Obviously, trying to be cognizant of breath control as well when you're actually letting and exhaling your chest cavity during repetition range. Again, to keep that consistent tension in your abdomen and in your lower back. So I think this is either my second set. I'm pretty sure I backed off back to 225 after hitting this one to be able to get a little bit more repetitions, a little bit better range of motion, but wanted to, again, apply a little bit more tension to those lats. If you don't have any type of intra workout, I definitely suggest some type of carbohydrate, dextrose to be exact. You can do liquid dextrose, you could do Sour Patch Kids, Pixie Sticks, Nerds, all of those, their first ingredient is dextrose. The idea there is to keep like 30, 60 grams of dextrose in you, sip over it across the course of the workout to keep your muscles full of glycogen to help you perform consistently across every exercise during the whole training session. Here we're doing dumbbell row. I like to keep the same, or my lead foot to be the same side I'm pulling on. This helps remove kind of a hinging at the hip. Now you can see I'm definitely allowing that shoulder to drop to get that full stretch. It looks like there's a little bit of a twist there. I'm sure I'm getting in some additional momentum, but the majority of that movement is happening on my lat. Most people end up putting their lead foot as their opposite foot. And that, again, in my opinion, creates a lot of hip rotation that is unnecessary when you're just trying to stay super focused on that lat. So we did 3 sets here, 8 to 12, trying to drive that elbow as far back towards the hip as possible. That'll help bring the mid to lower lat activation in. Then we did another heavy row movement here. I have the triangle bar, unsupported obviously. Again, wearing my belt under my shirt to keep that tension around my core. And we worked on 8 to 12 repetitions here for, I think, 3 to 4 sets. I think I may have gone up 1 additional plate. And then again, just kind of overloaded, and I know I backed off that 1 plate back into 3, again, to continue to get all repetitions that I need to. Big focus is obviously squeezing those lats together. It does help sometimes to focus on squeezing those shoulder blades, but obviously that's going to bring a lot of upper back activation. You can see here I'm standing a lot more up, which isn't ideal, and that's why I backed off the weight. And then obviously any gym bro knows got to do a pump check to see how the muscles moved throughout the workout. Pretty happy with how I'm shaped up here and how we're trending this off season.